haven't gone live in a while. I'll go outside. We're at Nate's class. Oh, I forgot I could have went. I'll go in the corner. Okay, so I'm at Nate's art class. I haven't gone live in a while. I realized that it's been a very busy week. I'm okay with talking about it. I took a little break this week from the content creation because I'm actively looking for work. So if you know of any leads, legitimate leads, inbox me. It'll definitely help. I didn't realize the job market was scarce again, nor did I realize that the reach has shrunk. I've been looking on all kind of sites, like usually Indeed always worked for me, or Craigslist, Monster, Career Builders, LinkedIn. There's even something called ATS, where you have to create your resume and make it where it can read through automated system, so that before it even hits a recruiter, the system is going to vet it first, and then get it to the recruiter to call you. So it's scarce right now with just that. Without saying too much about what's happened, I'm back in the market. It is what it is. And so if you guys know of anything, please pass my way. I've had a couple of interviews, talked to a couple of recruiters today about some opportunities that'll start at the end of next month. And I'm trying to look into starting something as soon as possible. I'm ready to get back to work. Okay, let's get to the wig front. This is my Chunky Twist, Marley Chunky Twist wig. I've been making myself wear it every day because I wanted to just see how it feels, and it feels very, very good. Very lightweight, very easy to put on. The combs do not hurt. I ended up getting rid of the baby hairs that come with the unit, and I just pulled my own out. And usually I'll kind of camouflage this. I didn't have that much time today when we were running out, so I just pulled some of my baby hairs out and said, let's just go on with it. I like how it looks. Looks natural. Gotta really be up in my hair. I am redoing a few things. Working on the website this week. I gotta reset the books. I had an older computer and an older drive that I had my books on, and they both crashed. And when I went to go download a copy of it, all the systems that I've used changed. They don't let you download the EPUB anymore the way you used to. So I gotta kind of redraft some stuff. It's okay. It takes me about 2 or 3 hours to do. Thank God I know how to do it. I want to know how many people want to know or learn how to make an ebook of their own. I've been doing it now for a decade, and I can show you. If you're interested, I'll make a course or I'll put something online. My e-commerce site is set up where I can put books, I can put videos that you could purchase. I also can do some live stuff if you want, and I can show you how to get it in the system, typeset it. What I learned is that digital products have a 94% success rate in sales. With ebooks, if you can teach people, it's the phrase, teach people how to fish. So if you can teach someone how to fish, they'll be able to feed themselves for the rest of their lives. So that from that rule, when you come to that water hole, teach people what you know. I know how to braid hair, I know how to make wigs, I know how to write songs, I know how to make MIDI and various things like that. I can do some quality DIY videos, YouTube style. So I'll do a couple of things with that. I have my editing and cinematography background, so I can do a couple of tutorials with that as well, just to put more things out there. So let me know in the inbox things that you would be interested in me doing. Right now my immediate goal is getting some of these up. I've had a couple of people reach out and said they want some, so I'm getting my supplies together. I have a nice box of inventory, but businesses cost money, And right now I am on a fixed income. Been that way for the last couple of 6 months from my day job layoff. But it's okay. It is what it is. It's life. We're getting through it. I hope everybody's having a good day. Courage is the first thing I want to say. Submission is another thing I want to talk about. It's difficult at times to submit to, I don't want to just say submitting to God's will. It's not difficult to submit to God's will. But when you're in an interim or when you're in a season in your life where things are not going in the direction you'd like to go, or there's some uncertainty, or there's things that are out of your control that you really, really want to fix, you have to put yourself in a state of rest. A friend of mine once said, shrink your world a little bit. Don't react. And then just wait for the interpretation or the comprehension and do it. Sometimes we make decisions and choices based on our emotions and based on whatever's happening at that moment, and it may be to our detriment later. So it is about making better decision making. Last night I was really having one of those moments of, why did this happen? I loved my job. Why did they have to do all those layoffs? And I had to say, Lord, you know what's best. Because shortly after that experience, a lot of stuff happened to me with my health, and I'm okay now. But I had a scare. We didn't know if what was happening to me was cancer, and my doctors and I were like, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. We'll see when we go in. And when I had the surgery, we discovered I didn't have it. But that was a hard 3 months waiting. Very hard 3 months for me. Like this lot of, and with me, I do roll with the punches in life. Since my grandmother's passed, I realized I got some of that fight from her because she's been through a lot of physical things in her life and ailments. And she always fought through it. She always fought through it. This is the first time in my life, even before she left, she was fighting. I saw that in her. I said, I got that same fight. That's where I get that from. So, as someone who fights, and someone who doesn't sit back and say, oh, I'm going to just let something overpower or take from me, I'm the kind of woman that's going to get up and figure it out. And so last night, something in me was like, submit. Nothing makes sense to you right now. Do the work. Do the creative work. Keep looking for work. Something will open up. But don't stress. Do the creative work. Submit in the flow. Submit in the flow. The gifts will make room for you if you let them. Provision will be made if we put faith in some of those actions. Now, I'm not saying be foolish. Sometimes we take foolishness and call it faith. Or step out before God said so. But then there are moments where you need to be kicked out the nest. I feel like that's what's happening to me. Like God is like, come on, get out, them wings work, fly. I'm going to say that one more time. Come on, get up, them wings work, fly. And it's the truth. My wings work. Fear will stop you from doing anything. So right now, I am working on being courageous, submitting to God in the flow of what He's doing, and trusting that He is not going to leave me out here destitute. Trusting that He hears every cry. And He does. Last night I prayed about something, an old thing that I had happened a decade ago. And I got a call today from a recruiter. And she shared some stuff with me that blessed me about that situation. It's funny. It's always, I go through something and it changes me and unearths me. And then like a decade later, the Lord will send somebody to tell me what's going on with that situation. And I'll be like, and it's him letting me know, I got you. I vindicated you. I took care of it. You didn't have to do nothing. Now, in those moments when it happens, when God says, I got you, I vindicated you, I usually still feel bad. I don't feel like, ooh, victory. God got them. By then, I'm always like, oh, that's so sad. And I'm like, wow, that happened because of this. That's what it means to submit. Stuff will happen, and you want to react and say something, and you can't. You got to let God handle it. You really will make your enemies your footstool. And I'm not saying that from a mean-spirited place. I'm saying that from a place of God will really take something that was meant for evil and turn it into your good. Or he'll give you the spoils of what was for where someone was doing something evil. God will show up and turn those spoils and give it to you as your victory. And say, yeah, they thought they was going to get that, but I'm turning around and giving it to you. Why am I saying this today? Because last night I prayed, and last night something was like, submit. You are in a place in your life where there's nothing you could do but put out your resume, and nothing you could do but work on your braid curl, and nothing you could do but write a song and post, because all those things don't require you to spend any money. You naturally have the talent and the gift to do it. Everything else is the act of faith. We live in an inflated society. I'm thinking of Joseph and the famine in the land. We live in an inflated society. Nowadays, you need your day job and you need your quote-unquote hustle or entrepreneurial gift just to make it. Ideally, it would be better if it was a two-income household, like a traditional family. You could fend real good. Like my old job, I made like 60-something thousand a year, and if I had a man and he made 60,000 a year, we'd be okay in this inflated society. It'd be tight, but me and him would be okay. And I was dealing with last night, Lord, how did I get to this? Because in my 20s, I set out to have that. And now I'm 43, and I never obtained, reached, got that. But wrong room, Nathan. Is that where you're supposed to be? Is that where you're supposed to be? Where are you trying to go? To the bathroom?
I thought it was.
Oh, one more. Yeah, that's the employees. And I said, Lord, how did I get here? How did this happen? And, some people would judge and say, oh, because you ain't living right, or you living like this. And I'll be the first one to tell you, like Paul, you don't know my testimony. You don't know my story. Do you know I waited all my 20s? I had Nathaniel at 33. I waited all my 20s. Nobody showed up. So I've been finding myself not so much bitter, but just re-questioning my faith. And I did what the adults told me to do, and it didn't work. So I've been dealing with my faith in that aspect of, so I feel like somebody sold me a lie in my 20s, and I waited, and now I'm 43. I already got a 10-year-old, so I'm not really looking like that anymore. And the only reason why I would ever marry somebody is to partner in business. Yeah, I gotta love them right, but it would literally be a marriage of convenience for business. It's not that I don't believe in love anymore, but you gotta do it with the right person, and the nature of man and woman is different because of the society we live in and because of the traumas and the various things we've been through. It's not a lot of accountability either. all I wanted to do. And when I talk to some of my friends my age who are in the same position, they say the same thing too. Yeah, I just want to be with somebody that I want to ride. We could build something. We ain't got to struggle like this, So I had to really submit all those feelings to God, and how long I waited, the things I didn't do in my 20s that I would have loved to do. But I'm waiting because somebody was saying, you got to wait for this husband that never showed up. Life don't go your way. It never does. And that's okay. Like I'm saying that today at 43. That's okay. Faith versus foolishness is what I'm dealing with right now. And what does that look like? What does a healed life look like? What does that Proverbs 31 woman look like? What does my womanhood and femininity look like? That's what I'm dealing with today. And on top of that, what does my business look like? What does my finances look like? What does wealth look like from what I do to my son's life look like? What does lineage look like? Who I partner with impacts that too. So submission, like I said earlier, this conversation is about courage and submission. I can only deal with what I can control. And I am a rider. If I ever have the opportunity to create a family and ride for it, oh my God, I'm going to be the MVP and we're going to succeed. But even if that doesn't happen, I got to find that fervor now as a single woman for the baby I created and ride out for this little boy in a way I ain't never rode out before. That's the new struggle. I'll sign up and ride for any business. I'll sign up and ride for any man who I think we're not even together and I think we may have a possibility, and I'll ride. Like, let's do this. Like, girl, there ain't no commitment here, ain't nothing. You try to ride. Can you ride for yourself? Let me say that one more time. Can you ride for yourself? So that's where I'm at today. How do I ride for Janelle and Nate? Because that's my family. And I do live in a multi-generational household. And so I do have an extension of my family where there's my mother and my sisters there as well. And I will ride for all of us. But where I'm at today is I got a lot of goals. I got a lot of artistic endeavors that need completion, that need me to keep marching to the finish line, that need me to put my focus on it for various reasons, because it needs to be completed. It needs to be refined. It's like a baby. During my house last night, I was tending to a baby. When I woke up, I realized that baby. I've actually had this dream as a recurring dream, actually. But overall, that baby is the business. And what I was getting from that was nurture your business. Nurture the baby in its embryo state, or if you've had the baby, going through the feedings and all that kind of stuff. That's how you handle your business. Don't give up on it. I was watching TikTok the other day, and a lot of people were sharing their experiences and submitting to their idea. One lady said she had a job and she felt she had to leave that job and just work her business. And even though it didn't make any sense, and she lost a lot of stuff, a family member said, I feel the need to let you stay with me while you work this business. So that worked out, where she was able to be given time to do what she had to do. Another person was talking about how for years they were pursuing something, and they had to keep refining it. And then finally, when it refined and a couple of tragedies happened, and then they found success. The secret is be consistent and don't give up. So where I'm at today is courage and submit. Courage and submit. Deal with whatever's going on the inside. Whatever trauma put people in their place if they're getting in your way. If people are pulling up things out of you that are not right. If people are trying to speak on your character or say things that are not true. Because haters don't show up. People are going to try to stop you. Especially if they see the light in you. In my entire life, people have always tried to rope a yoke around my neck or rope a yoke around my waist and dig their own heels in the ground to stop me to get to where I'm trying to go. And because they see the light and something in them doesn't want me to prevail in it. And a lot of that has to do with what they're dealing with on the inside. Maybe they have a similar desire, or maybe they don't. And they're just like, no, we want to mold you into this. Even though God is saying, I created you for that. So sometimes it's difficult. Hi, Deandra. Sometimes it's difficult to refine. I was looking at a lot of my videos on YouTube because I have 15 years worth of videos on YouTube. Don't touch that, Nathaniel. It's garbage. Nathan's in his art class. Here, let me show you in his smock.
She got that from Hobby Lobby.
Nathan, say hi.
Hi.
Okay.
She got everything from Hobby Lobby.
Okay, that's good. I want you to go back to class though, because you only have class for so long. Maybe people get jealous for whatever reason. Things and people will try to stop you. But you have to get to a place where you say, no matter what happens, I'm not going to let it stop me. No matter what people try to say, I'm going to take heed just in case there is some good information there. I'm not going to turn a deaf ear. But if I know it's not registering correctly, I'm going to shut that down and keep rolling. I had to ask God last night. I was like, Lord, did I do something wrong? And I just kept hearing in my spirit, no. Everything that took place was out of your control. And you need to just say thank you because you don't know what I prevented. You don't know what I stopped. That's a hard place to be in sometimes when all you can say is thank you. I remember I had a friend of mine pass away. It was one of those kind of passings where it was unexpected and it was just like, what the heck? And something in my spirit said, every time you think about it, just say, thank you for her life. Thank you for the experience that I had with her. Thank you for the many people she touched. And that began to help me in my grieving process, but it also helped me find peace in that her time was done, even though I didn't want it to be. And in difficult times like this, I keep hearing it. Just say thank you. You can't say nothing else. Say thank you, because in that spirit of gratitude, you keep the waters positive. Our attitude really does determine our altitude, and it helps us stay in the fight. So there's so much more I could say about this conversation, but courage and submitting. That's the word today. And sometimes you got to submit to your idea. Sometimes we have ideas and we don't submit to them. Oh, that hit me right there. I'm going to say that one more time. Sometimes we got to submit to our idea. Sometimes we don't spend time with our idea enough. Like I said, it's a baby. Dreams have to be nurtured and cultivated. For those of you who have children, when you first have that baby and you come home with that baby, your entire world changes. Hi, Christopher. How are you? When you have that baby, your entire world changes. And the only thing you can do is submit to the decision you made 10 months before to make that baby. And now that baby is in your arms and you got to deal with whatever I didn't work out, I got to work it out. I got to nurture, I got to make sure I have the formula or I pump regularly, add in diapers, learn their cues, learn their personality, and be right here because this baby needs you. When I had this little boy, now I'm the oldest of 5 girls, and I'm the oldest grandchild, so I've always watched babies. and been responsible for other people's children and have babysat my whole life. So I didn't go in blindly to the work that I had to do with being Nathaniel's mom. The only thing that was different for me is that he came out of me, so I was not ready for what my body went through. The other thing that was different was what happened to me mentally when I had him, because when I had him, that mother instinct kicked in a way it never has. Big sister instinct versus mother instinct is very different. I remember my friend told me, she said, watch when that baby come, you gonna learn how to say no. I'm so grateful for you, Peaches, when you said that. She said, watch when that baby come, you gonna know how to say no. And that's that mother instinct. That's what that is. And then also, his cues. I could naturally feel every cue when he was his cry. I learned his cries. So even though I'm big sister and I knew what that was like, being mommy is a whole nother thing. And so once I mastered that, just learning my child's cues, learning just what to do, our bond formed as mother and son. Remember when he was like a month or 2 months, and he would always do his little fist and do things. And one day I looked at him and I said, I took his hand, I just grabbed it lightly and I said, we don't put our fist up at mommy. That's what I said to him. And he gave me this kind of baby look. And I said, why'd I say this is 2 months old? He don't know. And then I started noticing he stopped doing it. And I said, oh, I'm learning his personality. And then as he got older, he would try to do things and I just take his little hand. You don't do this. I was conditioning him even from 2 months to 6 months on just how to do things. At 6 months, well, from 2 months to 6 months, I would talk to him a certain way. I wouldn't do baby talk. I would talk to him regularly because I wanted him to learn how to speak correctly and speak in a way where you can understand him. And by the time he was 6 months, he was trying to say like, thank you, or I love you, or he would start mimicking. And by the time he was 1, it was coming out clear. So what I'm getting at is, as mommy, as parents, translate that to business. What does your business need? Listen to the cues of your business. Learn your business's personality and start working with it. My child, I'm not going to embarrass him. I'm not going to tell you what he just did in class, but I'm laughing out. But listen to those cues of your business. Pivot with your business. I really believe in this season, God wants us to use our creativity to really witness and minister to people's hearts, because the world needs our creativity in a way we've always needed. It's a part of humanity. It's a part of humanity, but something happens when you express art. You give someone a nugget, you give somebody that jump or that joy to go on to whatever they've taken in life. Maybe it's a lyric or a song, maybe it's a wig, like I make this wig. This wig can serve as many mothers, sisters, daughters, humans who wear wigs, people maybe they're losing their hair from a disease and they can't do anything. This provides a service for them. So something in me keeps saying, your gifts are gonna make room for you, but you gotta nurture the gifts and don't be afraid of it. So courage and submission. Submit to that idea and don't take your hand off of it. We're afraid, and I know why we're afraid. I'm not knocking that. We're human. Never rob yourself of the decision making in humanity. Don't judge yourself or others. That's why I always say no judgment. I grew up in a church, several churches, and just, our nature, we judge people, and we shouldn't. And judgment stops people from achieving a lot, or can cause people to develop thinking about themselves that doesn't help. So be a conduit of helping and not judging. And if you have to observe versus judge for the purposes of finding a solution, that's okay. But don't just judge like, oh, I'm observing you so I could be like, no, don't do that. So, like I said, courage and submission. Whatever it is that you feel in your heart of hearts that you should be doing with your creativity, with your idea that you think about at night in the bed, do it. If you have to research it, research it. If you have to get a little money off to the side to put into it, do it. If it's taking a class, if it's taking an art class, if it's downloading an ebook or downloading a video. And if you need help, reach out. In the next couple of days, I'm going to make a couple of courses. How to make an ebook, how to make a video course. Because a lot of people need to get into that. You can make a lot of money from a how-to ebook and a lot of money from a how-to course. And all of us got information. So I'm going to do that for people and get that on my website. But knock out these braids, and I got more music stuff that I got to do. And then here's what I'm dealing with. I want to be in phase 2 of my music, and I still got to deal with phase 1. We still in post-production. We still in post-production mode of just getting the final product done. And that requires patience. Creativity requires patience. Here goes my phone. Let me end that. Creativity requires patience. We rush sometimes when we shouldn't rush. Sometimes we gotta let it marinate and get that dialing right. And not let our eagerness to show it or our eagerness to be seen in it mess it up. So, do you have art? Okay, hold it up. Let me take a picture. He wants to show his artwork. Step back. Step back. Okay, let me flip him. Don't say anything disrespectful. You're live. So, you made a welcome. Oh, I love it. Look at you. All right. Pumpkins. So, that's the message for today. I'm going to edit
Can
this,
I
chop
make a
this.
cooking channel?
You know what?
No, I'm gonna act like.
Oh, not right now, because we have to actually, once class is over, you have some more lesson to do, and then we have to get you to your visit for today. You have a visit today. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this video, I'll chop it down, I'll put it on all my social media, and I'll pull out the nuggets and make little reels out of it. But I just wanted to go live. I didn't get a chance to do it this week because I had some pressing things I had to work on. But that's the message for it. That's what I got last night. So that's what I'm sharing right now. God will make provisions too, but he also wants you to put that first foot forward. And that's what I'm getting today. We all going, and I'm not just saying you. I'm not just saying the proverbial you. I'm saying all of us. We got to put our first foot forward. So here's my Scout's honor. Such a nut. I know. So I love y'all. I'm Chanel J. Wilson, multidisciplinary artist and author, mommy, human, and I will be back for more.